First of all, good evening to all the participants and dignitaries present over here. I cordially welcome all of you at the expert talk on process of innovation, development and technology readiness level and commercialization of lab technologies and tech transfer, organized by Institutions Innovation Council in association with Computer Science and Engineering Department of Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management JIS Group. I am Madhumita Ray, Assistant Professor of Computer Science and Engineering Department, have the privilege to be the host of today's sessions. So welcome all of you at this digital platform. So today we have honorable speaker, Mr. Kanak Sarkar, founder and CEO of C-Centric Technologies Private Limited. Welcome, sir. Welcome at this sessions. Before starting the lecture session, here is a brief profile of Mr. Sarkar. He ventured in entrepreneurship in the year 2012. While he has last year of his engineering and has set up Acronym Solutions Private Limited as co-founder and director 2020 onwards. He has started new venture in the year 2020 after a career of 7 years in 7+ years in corporate and has set up C-Centric Technologies Private Limited as founder, director and CEO of C-Centric. So C-Centric is a software service and product-based startup having 30+ employees and having clients from UK, USA, Canada, Australia, France, South Korea, and Middle East and India. Mr. Sarkar is having 9+ years of experience in business development and software development, project management, business analysis, team management, and business startup consulting. He is driving the company on strategic issues and business management. He has started his entrepreneurship journey at the age of 21st years. He was the co-founder members of Acronym Solutions Private Limited and founder of CEO of C-Centric Technologies Private Limited. He has done BTech in electrical engineering from RCCIT West Bengal University of Technology. So welcome you, sir. Welcome this session. So next session is over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your kind, words. Everybody is joined, and I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Okay. There's a lot of noise coming. I don't know everybody is audible or not.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Thank you. So yes, I think ma'am already introduced me, and I do not think that any more introduction is required. Yes, she has already told everything. Okay. So let's start our session then. Okay. And first we will explain the topic. After that, we will have a question session. There are huge.
Just a minute, sir. Just a minute. Sir, please unmute yourself.
Yes. Now I think this noise issue is resolved.
Actually, sir, I am the host of this session and I actually done mute all. So you are also muted here. So
no issues.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me share my screen. I think I have my screen sharing options as well.
Please remove Shaheen.
Ma'am, I think you should mute all.
Yeah. Yes.
Madhumita Di, please remove Shahim.
Yes, I am trying. Shahim.
Madam, it's already done.
Okay. Thank you, Arindam. Sir, please continue.
Okay. So my screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
So our topic is, it's a very hard topic, to be frank. So let us start with that topic. That our topic is, there is two topic here. Okay. So first of all, innovation, development, and technology readiness level, commercialization of lakh technologies and tech transfer. Okay. So if you divide it, we can divide it this topic in 4 sections. First, it will come like innovation. For any development, first stage should be innovation. Okay. Then it will come technology readiness of that innovation. And after that, it should be in commercialization, because if something is invented and until and unless it is commercialized, then there is no use. And the last one is tech transfer. So I will explain everything. Hello, is it fine now?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Fine. So okay, so first let's start with the innovation development. The process of innovation, let's discuss about it. Okay. So for the process of innovation, as you guys can see in this slide, okay, the first thing should be idea, right? So for any innovation, we should have some idea. So that idea, how that idea can comes, right? So idea can comes in different ways. Like, in terms of that, I can just share you one story. While I was just, in my college life, I have done BTech in electrical engineering. Okay. And that time, one day, I was finding like, the fan was not moving speedy. Okay. I don't know. I mean, which department is this, session? Is it electrical or any other else?
Yes, sir. All departments are there. Computer
all
science,
departments are there.
electrical,
Okay.
all are there.
Fine. So that fan was not moving. Okay. So now the idea in my mind was like, why the fan is not moving, although that electricity is there. Okay. So now after that I thought like, I should do something as an electrical engineer. Then that, without, the full voltage,
Now, bole rakhi.
usually we should have 220 voltage, right? In-
আমি থাকবো।
Okay. So I think, ma'am, you should
Yes, sir.
unmute. You please unmute all.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah. Right. So that time I have an idea, and I just discussed with my college professors that, if we can develop a fan where if some electricity, voltage is reduced, maybe 160 or something like that. In rural area, there is a concept of series line. I know a lot of people are, from rural areas as well. They know, might be, maybe in Calcutta, people don't know about series line, but in electrical engineering also, there is a concept of series line. Okay. So whenever series line comes, the voltage drops. Now it happens, in initial or till now, maybe in rural areas, a lot of people are using stabilizer to stabilize, electricity voltage. So from that idea, nowadays, if you guys, see from Hebel's, there is a new fan launched, which is called, filling fan. It has few features like, temperature control, it has clap sensing, it has, this stabilizing option. So it will, work is as per your feelings. If you feel, if the temperature is low, the fan speed will reduce. So that was the idea, right? So in any terms, any idea can come. So first of all, we need to find out what idea we will work on. That is very important. And after that, if idea comes, like if you can see, the first step is idea testing. So idea can come, there should be several ideas, but we need to test each and every idea, because we need to think which has the most promising DNA, right? And who will decide? Maybe initial stage for any funding, any startup, we should have few core member, right? So maybe that can be your friend, that can be your other business partner, that can be your professor. So you should share this idea with your stakeholders. So after that, those ideas should be tested. Now, let's say you will have few ideas, maybe 20 ideas or something like that. From that, you need to select the most promising DNA one. And after that, that idea need to be concept testing. Say, yes, the idea is fine. Now, is it really working? Right? And the majority feature is actually valuable, is not, or not, or the market, okay, the market is already available or not. You need to research on the market as well, right? So that is basically called concept testing. Now after the concept testing, experience testing is also important. Like, you need to develop the design or prototype of that concept, okay, or the idea, and it should be, validate from experienced people who has already knowledge about it. Let's say, I was a student that time in my college life, right? But that time our professor had some more experience about the electrical engineering knowledge, so we should validate with them initially. Okay, so that is the next step, that validation of, with the expertise, as well as the customer validation. You can show that idea or that prototype with your relatives or near dear ones, okay, initially. So if they, liked it and the things is working, then we should proceed on that. Okay, now, okay, hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are
Audible,
audible.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Just a second, the slider is not moving. Well, so now the next step is, yes, you have, conceptualize that idea. Am I audible, right, guys? So next step is develop the idea. Okay, so definitely we should have a new product ideas, and that should be developed. Now what this is the, you can see, this is the process of, in
Sir, please mute you, unmute yourself, sir. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
based on idea testing, the top candidates are advanced, right? So basically, whoever, having that idea needs to be productized, right? Now product concept is there, and after that, that concept of testing, right? I was just explaining, right? Whatever the prototype is coming, right, that prototype needs to be tested with the experience testing. What I also explained with the, you know like, our professor can be tested, or the, person who has having more knowledge about it, they can also test it. and we need to ready the minimum viable product, which is just minimum functioning product, and that can be early adopter, right? Early adopter means the people who can check those things and adapt those things easily with the minimal viable, functionalities. Okay, I don't know what is happening. I mean, slide is not moving because of Zoom or okay. So next step is, once your innovation is done, idea is done, and idea innovation process is done, then we need to check with the technology readiness level. This is a huge part. Okay, that technology readiness is important because there are a lot of things are here. There are total 9 steps of technology readiness. So first, let's check with different type of readiness level. Okay, first one is technology readiness level, second one is manufacturing readiness level, and third one is investment readiness level. Okay, so in the year 1974, Stan Sadin from the NASA headquarters defined this technology readiness level, because we should have some parameter, right? So that parameter is defined by NASA. Okay, and this technology readiness level is basically used for measure the maturity level of a technology toward the research, development, and development phase of progression. Now I will explain this scale of 1 to 9 technology readiness level, which is very much important, right? And I am not covering this manufacturing readiness level in this session. Okay, I will come later. Also, that's investment readiness level, that will also come later. So let's discuss about those 9 steps. What is those 9 steps all about? The technology readiness level. Okay, now now let's um, checks, everybody is talking. I mean, if you can just mute all, and I think it will work. Okay, so different TRLs in software industry. So as long as I am from software industry, already ma'am already told you, right? So let's explain this. What is happening in software industry in this 9 readiness level? Okay, so first one and the second one is basically research. So whatever the idea is basic thing. Okay, whatever the idea is coming, okay, that basic research is needs to be done in first and second TRL. If you guys can see, basic principle observed and reported, technology concept and application formulation. Okay, so these two is basically the TRL 1 and TRL 2. Now once this 2 step is done, this is more or less research oriented work. Okay, so in software industry also we do need to some research as well whenever any product needs to be launched. So before launch, I mean before starting the development of that product or translation of that product into the development mode, we need to do some research. So basically these are two, TRL 1 and TRL 2. Okay, now the TRL 3, software to test and evaluate basic concept on simple model problem respective of final need. So as I told you already, right, innovation is based on need. You can check whatever the requirement, I mean whatever the need in for the society, and based on that you can develop some application or develop manufacture some product. It's anything, right? So based on that, we have that final goal. We need to develop or resolve those problems. So according to that, in TRL level 3, we need to test those software. Okay, And the TRL 4, that escalate model to more realistic representation. So that means basically it's a design work. Okay, so we know our requirement. Now we tested as per our requirement. Now the fourth point is, it's designing as per the requirement. And the next one is 5. Model contains all major elements of need, right? If we need to solve 5 problems, and for that we need to develop a software. Let's say, it's a discuss about a school management or college management software, right? So you guys are also, giving your fees in your college, and they have a lot of software. They have account, they have HR management software, right? So let's say they have developed those software for their requirement to manage their account, to manage their, HRMS system, human resource system, where all the employees or the teachers or the professors, okay, their salary can be researched, their attendance can be captured, their leave can be captured. Okay, so those all are the area where we need to, develop each and every small module. Okay, so whenever we develop any software, we develop, we divided in different modules. It's basically called agile process in software development. So let's say we have 5 requirements. So based on that, we need to develop 5 small modules. Okay, so that is comes under TRL 5. Now in the TRL 6, that is basically there is a standardization by ISO. I hope you guys have, heard about the name ISO. So based on that, we need to also follow the guidelines and do the programming as well. So that is technology readiness level 6. Okay. Now once it's done, that means your product or the software is almost done to testing or install in the real computer or the clients or the prospective, users interface, or maybe in cloud interface. So in that case, whenever we, show the demo to the client, that is called basically TRL 7. And also in software industry, it's called UAT, user acceptance test. Okay, and now in that UAT, a lot of issues can come, user can face on a lot of challenges. Okay, and based on that, some evaluation can be done. Okay, so that is basically in TRL 8. As well as we need to complete, functional UI, which is called GUI, as well as training materials needs to be there, so that user can easily come to the, application. They can easily, use it by, get the information from the user manuals, training materials, or the support team. Okay, so that is the stage where we can hunting the bugs as well. Okay, so this TRL 7 and TRL 8 both actually called UAT in software industry. Now this UAT is done. Once the UAT is done, that is basically the production. Okay, so now we are ready to launch that application to the, market. Okay, so now anybody can use that application and they can, deploy into their environment. Everything they can do now. Okay, so this all 9 parameter is very important. Basically TRL 4 to TRL 8 is very important to develop a software. Okay, so this is an example in software, because you guys can understand I am from software industry, so it's very easy to, understand you guys from software examples as well. Might be computer science student can understand better, but it's think only a simple way whenever, and this is applicable for all industry, not only software industry. We can apply for medical industry, we can apply for any manufacturing industry, and all the industry. This, technology, readiness level needs to be followed. Okay, so here also you can see this slide is self-explanatory. As I was discussing, the same thing here also have shown. The basic technology research, TRL 1 and 2, TRL 2, TRL 3 and 4 is research to prove feasibility, and TRL 4 to TRL 5 technology development, TRL 6 to TRL 7 technology demonstration, TRL 8 is subsequently development. Okay, and as I told you, like whenever bugs is coming, so that bugs needs to be resolved. That is under TRL 8. And yes, that launching the operation and successfully using the operation, that is basically TRL 9. Okay, now let's discuss TRL in brief. Okay, so again, this also a self-explanatory slides. Okay, the basic research. Why this is important? Okay, first initial specific research begins. Okay, so anything is developed. First phase is research. That basic research needs to be done. Example includes studies on basic material properties. So whenever we do anything, we need to, nowadays everybody is using Google lots, right? I hope you guys are also learning a lot of things, from Google. And most of the things also Google, and everybody is doing their BTech from working. I mean from home right now, right? So in our time, we used to go to college. Our teacher, that was a physical time, right? But due to Corona, you guys are now much more tech savvy, right? So anything now you can search on Google, or also there are also research teams are also available, right, in government's lab and all. So those places you can do your research. If it is any lab technology or something like that, or it's hardware related things like electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, then you need to go to physical lab. But in software case, you can maybe research on Google. You can find a lot of application, a lot of YouTube videos to develop your software. So next one is applied research. So once the research is done, then you need to apply those research, that proof of concept, basically that proof is working or not. Application are potential of material or process satisfy the technology need is confirmed. So that whatever the material you have researched and the technology required, okay, that is satisfying or not, this is basically applied research. So basically I would like to tell you one thing, guys. If I ask you guys what is engineering, engineering is nothing but an application of science, right? We are not doing anything new. We are applying whatever already built, already science has already research on that, and we are applying those things, right? So this is also something like that. The research is done in first step. Second step, you are just applying those research and checking those things are satisfied with your technology requirement or not. Third one is, yes, critical function proof of concept establishment, right? Again, that proof of concept or POC is basically whatever, yes, the research is done. Now that you have checked, yes, technology is also fine and the materials is also there. Now you need to build the proof of concept, right? So applied research continues and early stage development begins. Yes, so this is the first step of development. This is building a proof of concept. Okay, so now next one is laboratory testing or validation of alpha prototype or process, right? So here we need to design, as I told you, right, in the last slide, the TRL 4 is design, right? So this is also, you can see it explains much, right? Design development of lab testing of technology components and perform, right? So TRL 4 is the first step of determining whether the individual component will work together as a system. Also I told you, right, whenever we have start anything development, we need to divide it into some pieces, right? So this is the thing where you are just assembling all the small pieces of the development, and you need to check it's although actually working or not. I believe also you guys using most of the guys are using now maybe laptop, but if you guys using desktop, then I think you guys configure on your own desktop, right? assemble your own desktop. Maybe you purchase the monitor differently, you purchase the CPU differently, you purchase RAM differently, right? And in our time we do like that way. So it's something like that. Now the fifth one is basically after this small development, we need to integrate all those things. So here we need to assembly. This 4 and 5 both are the same thing. The major difference between 4 and 5 is the increase in the fidelity of the system and environment of the actual application. So in 4 also we are doing same, but here we are refining the things. That is the difference, nothing else. Okay. So again, the system tested in almost prototypical, right? Scientific use should be retired at the end of TRL 5. So when TRL 5 is completed, that means there is no scientific risk. If we can successfully complete these things, then there will no risk involved. Risk is, we can overcome the risk in level of TRL 5. Now the sixth one is prototype system demonstrated in operational environment. Again, you can see this slider from this slider. This image is already explaining the things, whole things. Okay, it represents a major setup in a technology demonstrated. So it's a demonstrate in between your stakeholder or whoever you are doing. It's any innovation is not possible or with a single person. So that's why in our first step I have told you already, we should have your stakeholder or the partners, right? So where you can internally with your team you can demonstrate this prototype. Now the seventh one is, yes, once the integrated pilot system is demonstrated, that means it will be demonstrated to the public or the customer and check with the final design is virtually complete. Okay, so now final design is complete. Now this is manufacturing work is done. Basically the goal of this stage is to retire engineering and manufacturing risk. So manufacturing, after manufacturing completion, this is the 7th TRL. Okay, so there is no risk about on manufacturing. Okay, and the next step is TRL 8. In TRL 8 you can see it can be incorporated in commercial design. So you can see that if you see the picture I have used in this slide, it also explains like in TRL 7, if you can see the design was not so good, right? But in TRL 8 we have improved the design, right? So you can see that. So it's a more refining before at the stage of commercialization, because whenever you wanted to buy something, right, it's a human nature, like we wanted to look attractive things, right? So this is the thing. So initially when something is developed, if it is software, if it is any product, so that labeling is done in TRL 8. Okay, so it should be lucrative so that people can use it and like it. So you can also see example includes full scale volume manufacturing of commercial end product, right? So that is the one. And the last one is, yes, you can see in the last slide, TRL 9, proven and ready full commercial deployment. So it's already proven, it's working fine. Maybe you can see this robot is in the shopping mall, right? So that robot can help you to shop in that shopping mall. So it's already working and it's ready to commercialize. Now if you are manufacturing that robot, then you can sell to the other customer as well. Okay, so now in terms of technology readiness, few other things we can see here, right? That again, how this is the user, this is the scenario, like government labs and or the academia. You guys are now in college, so you guys are in academia, right? So in 4th year, maybe you guys needs to be do your 4th year project. So from there also a lot of people I have seen, they have started their business in later stage also. In our college, I have my few juniors, they have done some research in their college life and now they are commercialized those things. Okay, So also, this kind of research is done in government labs as well. Okay, so research, the most research things is done in either academia or the government lab or the government sector as well only. Okay, so you can see here the small business that from TRL 3, TRL 4 to TRL 7, from TRL 3 to TRL 7. Okay, so basic idea is done, research is done. There is a part of SM, small business, right? And once the technology readiness level crosses 5 or 6, then maybe sometime large business can take part of that, right? So now you can see this graph. This is the place of an entrepreneur. I believe you guys know what is all about entrepreneurship. I'm not going here. I think you guys should have a session before this about innovation and entrepreneurship as a career opportunity. So I think you guys should know that. So there are a lot of people are also there. If you see, this is resources, right? In the left side is resources, and the bottom is technology readiness, right? And these are the actors and funding. Now, if you see, these resources is obviously they should be the human being. Now, who can be the resources? Like this stage, there are a lot of resources. Government labs, academia. You can see this is the curve. Now, when it comes to TRL 4, TRL 3, TRL 4. So after TRL 4, also I have seen a lot of people like drop their ideas, drop their innovation, stop. I mean, because maybe they feel it's not working. And this is the fifth and sixth one. If you just complete the fifth one, then I said you are going to be successful. Okay, so this is the very tough readiness level. And anyhow, if you wanted to become an entrepreneur or business person in near future, then you need to recover this one anyhow. So now, yes, whenever you will complete your prototype, now after that you can demonstrate, and there are a lot of funding option is also there. Government is also funding, private sector is also funding. Okay, that there is angel investor is also there. So you can get the investment and you can just scale up. So these are the graph where you can see if you just complete your TRL 6, TRL 7, then you can reach this portion. So most of the startup as well as the idea or the innovation drops here. So that's why I say it's a very crucial one. Okay. So let's give you another example. It's a simple example. I think you guys all knows about it. Okay. So it's also from NASA. Okay. So in aeronautics industry, when first aeroplane launched, that time that initial hurdle was the sound. There was a huge sound at that time. So in 1999 and 1980, you can see fundamental investigation of air mixing. Okay, so it's started that how the sound issue was there. So because of that, they have started research on that in 1980, how they can reduce. Okay, so they have started with fluid physics. They have studied in NASA the how and get the materials. Okay, and after that in early 90s, you can see there are few other modules is developed. Okay, few other shapes is also developed, right? So application to small nozzle and airfoils, right? So that you can see. So initially it was like that, and after that NASA has started to research on fluid physics, and they come up with in early 90s with different shape of nozzles. Now in 1995 to 1997, this TRL 5, 4 and 5 model is testing. Okay, so they have started testing on those nozzles. Okay, that sound is reducing or not. Okay, again, so full scale testing happened 1998 to 2000. Full scale testing is happening, and again they have now changed again. So this is the sharpening things, right? They have built and they understood it might work. Now they wanted to be perfect on that. So that is the TRL 6. Now in TRL 7 is basically validation of that concept. Now they have tested in in their lab maybe, or in their warehouse. Wow, but in TRL 7, they have tested with the actual flight. That is 2001 to 2005. These five years they have tested. Yes. Now you can see in TRL 9 and TRL 8, 2005 to now. So now whatever the nozzles is coming, this is the latest version. So that's why the sound, that's how the sound is reduced. So I just introduce you. A lot of people knows these things, that this airport industry story. Okay, so this is a very simple example of technology readiness level in different levels. Okay, now there is some challenges. Yes, I have already discussed about the challenges. Again, this you know slides is self-explanatory. If you can see, this is the 9 TRL. Okay, and there is a huge gap between universities and the industry, right? So up to 1, 2, 3, this can happen in government lab, universities. Okay, and this is basically in business perspective, where the entrepreneurship born basically, and once the entrepreneurship is get successful, they can make that industry now after that. So in 8 and 9 stages. So yes, those are the challenges section. I have told you already 4 major challenges. Things are 4, 5, 6, and 7, and you can see business challenges. Yes, lower cost, faster production times, higher return on investment. Okay, innovation challenges, commercialization, marketing and sales research, customer feedback, because in that time basically the actual research is happening. In university level there is a research happen. Yes, this is a concept of research, I mean concept clear. Now in actual field, this 4, 5, 6 and 7, we need to work on that. Then only a concrete product can be developed. So now next part is, yes, commercialization of lab technologies. Okay, so commercialization of lab technologies, commercialization, yes, I mean that was a IRL, investment readiness level. Now yes, once also investment readiness level is basically created by Steve Blank. Okay, to be to startup as TRL is to be NASA, is to NASA. So again, these all are developed by NASA. Okay, that IRL also developed by NASA, TRL also developed by NASA. Okay, so we are just uh, mainly follow their rules. Okay, so yes, you can see that how the new venture is created. Here is the main thing, right? Research is done, then disclosure. Yes, when you started the development, disclosure is important. Yes, then evaluation is done, then market is coming to the market, right? But in that market, okay, again, that as an entrepreneur, whenever somebody is trying to set up their business or entrepreneurship journey, they do not have much money, right? But to commercialize the thing, you need to have the money. If you just wanted to launch your product in in real world, you need to spend huge money. And as a student, most of the cases, 99% cases, we do not have money. Even although when I have started my business, although I have not gone through this type of stages. Yes, my organization is typically a software industry where product and services developed. So initial one also we have tried for a lot of investors. Now you need to go to after the prototyping, you need to find who can invest on your business. But because without investment you can't do anything, because there are a lot of other people or other established business are already there, and already you guys know also MNCs are also there. So there are a lot of challenges also there, right? So now if you need to wanted to sustain in this huge competitive industry, then to be frank, money is important. So and for that you need to sell your idea to other investor or venture capitalist, right? So then you need to target with mostly with the CEO of the company, because CEO are the main person to take the who can take the decisions. But it's not so easy to you know uh, get the appointment from any CEO for a bigger organization. But yes, anyhow, if your prototype or the concept is lucrative, or they also feel you need to create the presentation for that, and if they feel that that will work or that will get benefited their organization as well, then definitely they can commercialize your startup. Okay, so then once you will get the funding, then you can start the full-fledged project. Again, at the time of new venture, you need to maybe they can ask you, right? Once they will check, they can ask you maybe something you need to develop further, you need to check again, you need to develop further, and then you need to show again with them. And if they feel is fine, then you get the funding. And once you will get funding, then you can start the live project so that you can commercialize those things. And when the project is done, that is the main major thing is license. So you need to also register your company in Startup India, MCA, government. Okay, and you need to develop your trade license. You need to certify all those things like ISO 9000, ISO 27000. There are a lot of other certification as well. So those needs to be also there. These are the license required to run your startup. You need to open your bank account. For that also you need to have your certificate of incorporation. So you need to take care of your licensing as well. And after that, yes, once your product is developed, you need to monitor. So that is the commercial readiness. Also that commercialization model you can see here, guys. The step, yes, investigation, technical analysis. Step 1 is technical analysis. Stage 1, investigation, technical analysis, market needs assessment, then venture assessment. What actually I was just explaining right now. That step 2 is again feasibility. Feasibility, again market study is required. Then that economic feasibility, yes. And again that development, engineering prototype, strategic market plan, strategic business plan, also there. Introduction, okay, pre-production prototype, market validation, business start. So here you need to, once you will start your business, that time you need to get that licensing done as well. Okay, then it's a growing section. Once you have production is ready, sales and distribution, you need to make your distribution ship channel so that your product is sell much more faster. And then next one is business growth. Okay, and this one, when you will have this step, okay, you will already a millionaire, that's for sure. Okay, production support, diversification, business maturity. So business matures, that means you can become a millionaire. So this is the commercial readiness. Okay, now that discovery, yes, discovery, evaluation, this is also development and commercialization, the whole process. Once again I have shown here: disclosure, evaluation, protection, marketing, negotiation, licensing. So development and commercialization is this. Okay, now yes, next part is the tech transfer. Okay, so once your product is launched, once your product is developed, then the next thing is tech transfer. Now what is tech transfer, right? Tech transfer is also called transfer of technology. Is the process of manufacturing, right? Is the process of transferring technology, okay, from the person of organization who owns or hold it to another person of organization. That means what happens, like in an organization, like you have built your application, something like you guys also know that, right? A lot of company also, a lot of people changes their companies in corporate life. If you guys once you guys will complete your education, you guys will join any organization. So in software industry there is a concept of calling KT, is called knowledge transfer. Basically you are doing a project, let's say. Now you resign from that organization. Now let's say you are working at Cognizant, you are now going to another company or maybe another project in same company as well. Now, in your team, whatever you are working for last 2 years, you have all the knowledge. Now that knowledge needs to be transferred to the newly came or newly appointed person, right? So that is basically tech transfer. Okay. So if you guys can see here, right? So research and recovery done, invent disclosure, evaluate, protect. Okay, let me explain this. Protect intellectual property. Okay. So this is majorly happens like in patent. I think you guys know that patent, right? So that is a thing. You need, I mean, whenever you just initial stage research is done and any new things you are developing, then you should do the patent so that nobody else can do the same thing. And if they wanted to do the same thing, okay, then they need to be get the rights from you. Okay, so that will be your intellectual property of your own property, right? So that is one thing that is also in comes under licensing. Okay, and again that comes like market IP. Okay, that is another thing. It will very hard to explain, to be frank, because market IP is something like uh, something like once property is launched, and it's something like branding. Okay, I will say it's something like branding. So market, as well as whenever you are just creating your brand, so in that time you need to be aware of the a lot of features like color combination, your logo, like you guys can see, right? There is a TM written in some logos, trademark. Okay, that is also another thing. So those are the things coming under the market IP. Okay, and select a partner, negotiate and license. These are the coming things again. Then commercialization, product and service, benefit to society and revenue. Yes. So again, I was just explaining. I hope you guys also know entrepreneurship. What is entrepreneurship? In short, entrepreneurship means giving back to the society, right? But whoever become an entrepreneur, they also profit. It's not like it's not an NGO, non-profit organization. It's profitable organization. Okay. So that's why once you commercialize your product or the service, okay, you also helping others, okay, as well as you are getting revenue from that as well. Okay. And the last one is, yes, distribute revenue and reinvest. That is the point. Okay. So it's the life cycle, like the entrepreneur once a student, now he become an after this TRL level crossing, he become an entrepreneur or small businessman. And after that, once he or she make revenues, then he can also help other entrepreneurs too. Okay, so that entrepreneurs, we need much more entrepreneurs to balance our system right now in India. A lot of you guys already know the situation of job. Although we in engineering or software industry we have still, but due to this pandemic, other industry has a lot of challenges, right? So as an entrepreneur, we also need to be help other entrepreneurs or emerging entrepreneurs. So it does. There is a entrepreneur communities as well. A lot of things you guys will if you search, then you guys will find it. And also you guys can connect on with me. This is my contact address and all. A lot of funding, small funding in Calcutta also we do. Okay, based on the innovative ideas and all. So that's it. Now, if you guys have any questions, then if you guys can ask me.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, thank you, sir. Myself is Arindam. Basically, I belongs to the electronics department. I'm an assistant professor in this college, but I have a question, sir. That one.
Sure, absolutely.
Sir, you mentioned the point is the DR1 and lots of the different all the things. But actually, I want to know that basically, sir, there is a gap between the industry and education. So you know that point, and we are doing our research also. some research is also going on very fruitfully, but we couldn't make it industry acceptable portions. How can we do that? Means you definitely mentioned the point, but after that, if you give me the any way that how can we marketize it?
Right. So point is like, I understand your point, and I mean also for that solution we are also looking for what happens. What happens, Mr. Arindam? Like if I just tell you some example, like this due to this pandemic situation. Okay, initially what happens? Let's say I'm just going to other example. I'm not directly answering your point. Like in engineering student, okay, they complete their engineering student engineering degree, study for 4 years. Now that education is different than the actual industry world, also, right? So to overcome that, what I do, or maybe you guys also know, maybe some bigger companies like CTS, they have their own training system, right? They have their own training, they done their own training. So once students are coming from different background, even electrical, electronics, they have all, right? But now everybody is working in software industry. Like I was also from electrical engineering. I do not have any knowledge in software industry, but I learned. I came to this industry and I learned, right? So also electrical electronics students are also coming to the companies. They have their own training system. They do their training and they prepare them as per the industry. Now your point is like, whenever you do some research and that is not acceptable by commercially acceptable, or industry is not accepting, right? So for that, actually what I think I have already mentioned, you need to check with the person, experienced person who has those industry knowledge, and only they can help you. So the gap, to reduce the gap, you need to discuss with them who has those knowledge. Like you are researching and you are developing something, you are having idea like, if I can make this and maybe this can be fruitful, but in real case may not be. So you need to check with them. So that is important to reduce the gap.
Yes, sir. And you mentioned the point regarding to the funding process. Lots of different projects from the different background of computer science, electronics, and different project, different department they are doing. Can we please share with you to say that one that it can be possible for funding, because from the student this is not possible to design, or too much money is required for them. So
Absolutely.
is it possible to from your side to funding, if definitely if it is
I mean,
applicable for your side?
we know now. I mean, into this market like last 10 years. Okay, so in Calcutta, a lot of people I know. Okay, so a lot of people are also interested to funding new ideas as well. Okay, so maybe directly, maybe I can't, I don't know. I mean, that can be depends on that MVP, that minimal viable product is developed or something like that.
Yes.
Okay, but I have few contracts with them. Maybe I can share and maybe I can arrange something on that.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Is there any questions from students? Students, if you have any questions, you may ask now. Sir, I have a question.
Sure,
Suppose we actually developed the technology and now we need to transfer the technology which is fit for the knowledge, means fit for the market. Okay, so is
Right.
there anything we need to do, means before launching the product, is there anything, means after testing, so obviously testing is done, and
Right.
after that, is there anything we need to do from developer side? We need to cautious about that before launching the product actually.
definitely testing. Yes, first of all, I mean, if it is software product, I don't know what kind of product you are talking. If it is software product,
Okay.
I have more knowledge about software. You guys can also understand, right? I'm working on this industries only. So if it is software product, definitely that testing needs to be completed rigorously. Okay, there are few, step I have, readiness level I have shown, right? TRL 6, TRL 7, majorly, then after that you need to initial that whatever, in any product launches, okay, that initial launch should be beta launch. It's called beta launch. It's basically, testing with your surroundings. Maybe 500 people, so you ask them to test, give them to feedback, because whenever you will, what happens in marketing, there are few other section also. This is not the end actually, it's not all the things for entrepreneurship. So what happens whenever you will go now, Google is much more stronger right now. Now you have launched something. Let's say I have launched an application, mobile application. Let's say now I have not tested, or I have not done properly research on that. Then what will happen? A lot of outsider will come, they will see, they will not find any interesting thing. Maybe they can write some bad reviews. Okay, now those bad reviews, because of bad reviews, maybe next stage for the customer acquisition, it will be very difficult. So what happens, initially we also do, like, we do beta testing. It's called beta testing, where after the development we launch the application, but we share only with our nearest dearest people who will directly review us. Okay, so once those people will admit that yes, it's absolutely fine, we need to the data needs to be collected. So based on that data, now we feel yes, it's fine, then we can go directly to the market. So I think this needs to be done, and this is for any, not only the software, any other products as well. If you wanted to launch any product, then this needs to be done. And yeah, obviously commercialization, I mean, as well as that, licensing, yes, those needs to be obviously done, because if you launch without license, or else let's say without document, okay, you need to be, I think whenever you are developing any product, before that you should have patent or IP protection address as well. So that needs to be done. Or if you wanted to become an entrepreneur or the business, then you need to set up your business. Maybe that can be proprietorship, that can be private limited company. Okay, then only you can just launch it whenever you wanted to earn revenue from it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So anyone, students, do you have any questions? So
Madhumita ma'am,
yeah, there is
chat
a
box there is
yeah. At the chat box, there is a question. What is CRL and difference with TRL? This question is coming from Rajashri Chakraborty. He is the HOD of Mechanical Engineering Department. What is CRL and difference with TRL?
What is CRL? I can see the question. Just give me a moment. Let me just stop my screen. Just a minute. My screen is visible or not? Still? My screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I think there is three readiness level. That's technology readiness level, TRL, manufacturing readiness level, and investment readiness level. There is no CRL.
Rajashri sir, if you want to clarify your question, it will be better.
Sir, are you there?
Okay, sir is writing in the chat box that I think it may be commercialization part.
Okay. And yeah, maybe that is the actually, these are the name investment readiness level, that's short in IRL. CRL is maybe commercial readiness level, and I just explained here is as a CRL. I mean IRL. That same IRL and the CRL is same then. investment readiness level or the commercialization readiness level. Investment and commercial is the same thing. So IRL and the CRL is same thing. So just name is different.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. And we have another question in the chat box. This is from our student, Mohammad Arish Khan. Certificate revocation list. I think he wants to know what does it mean? Certificate revocation list. Certificate revocation list.
Huh? So do you wanted to send all the list? You can ask. I mean,
actually, the questions actually clearly you can't understand the question.
Right.
Arish, can you explain what is the question is actually?
I think, madam, he was defining the CRL also. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, the full form of CRL. Okay, certificate revocation list.
No, he was asking that one also.
Okay, okay.
Arish has written.
Okay.
Last one I can see Devjit has written right there, when your company IPO is getting. Okay, brother, IPO is, that's far away. My company is still startup. Okay, I have already started, business in 2008, 2012. It's been almost, nine and a half years, and only, 30 employees are there. Okay, so it's a small startup still. And for IPO, there are huge, criteria. Even I don't know even the criteria for the IPO, to be frank, and I have not even, dreamed for that right now. Okay, so it's beyond my imagination, to be frank, at this moment. But yeah, once if it will come, then definitely you will, you will know. That's for sure.
So he is asking what is meant by it. What does it mean?
IPO.
IPO.
IPO is basically, when, like, few days back, you guys know, right? And that IPO, Nykaa IPO was came. A lot of people buy share. Okay, so it's basically in share market listing. So few days back, Paytm share, Zomato share. I don't know, you guys, maybe some professor can also invest on share market, right? So they knows, like, in share market few days back, Nykaa. Ma'am, I think you have used Nykaa products. You know that?
Yes, sir. I have listened about that, but
Oh, you do not know Nykaa? There is an app where mainly the jewelries are
yeah. Yes.
so that company is become big company. It's like for makeup, industries, they are the big one. Okay, so it's also, an woman has started this business, and within couple of years it's their revenue is more than 1,000 crore or something like that. So it's a big company now. So now they have listed the IPO. IPO means basically for the share market listing, where they can people also can buy those share. Companies, there are different level of companies. First is happening with proprietorship company, self proprietorship. That is a single person company, single person owner. Second one is private limited, like our company is private limited company, where multiple director, more than 2 director needs to be there. Okay, at least 2 needs to be there. More than 2 can also happen. Then there is also called limited company. You had name that private limited. So limited company, there is another criteria. You need to at least earn maybe per year turnover needs to be 10 crore or something like that. And after that only you can just make that limited company. Okay, most of the government, Power Grid Corporation Limited or something like that, you guys can see, right? So what the government undertaking companies are mainly the limited company. So there are different level of companies. Now IPO, private company can also list it for selling their share. That's it.
Okay,
I
thank you.
think Devjit.
Okay. Okay, sir. There is no other question in the chat box. So thank you, sir. Is there any questions? Okay, before going to the questioning session, continuing the questioning sessions, there is an announcement. Participant, please fill up the feedback form. The feedback form is given at the chat box. So please everyone fill up the feedback form. So now, is there any questions from students? If you have any questions, you may ask.
So I think before this topic, you guys should have a topic like, where innovation and entrepreneurship as a career opportunity, right?
Yes, sir. I think we have organized that type of programs, events for
Right.
them.
Right.
So that type of programs is already done
So
from.
basically these, IIC, that cell is basically, I think represents the, entrepreneurships, right?
Yeah. Innovation cell.
Innovation, yes, innovation cell, yes.
Institutions innovation
Yeah,
council.
so I mean, that is the first step. After that, entrepreneurship comes, basically.
Yeah, yes, sir. So thank you, sir. I think there are no more questions from participants. So thank you, sir, for this wonderful sessions and providing your precious time with us. And obviously, the session was very much interactive and interesting one, and informative one also. So if students have any query regarding this technology transfer or any type of help we required, I think we obviously contact with you, sir.
Sure, they can directly contact with me. There is no issues. Okay. Here is my contact address.
Yeah. Okay, sir. And sir, we have a digital memento, but right now I will send you.
Okay, no issues. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So, sir, on behalf of Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management and the entire team of Institutions Innovation Council and from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, we extend a very hearty vote of thanks to you, sir, for gracing your important ideas and concepts and sharing with us your findings and opinions today. And my sincere gratitude to our principal, ma'am, for her encouragement to arrange this type of webinar. And I also express my sincere thanks to the convener of IIC Cell, Miss Amrita Dhar, and all the HODs of different departments and all the members of Institutions Innovation Council and Computer Science and Engineering Department of GKCEM. And last but not the least, I'm expressing my sincere thanks to all the participants for being with us. So good night, everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye. Thank you, sir.